Good afternoon, everyone. We are Poetika. We are a spoken word group that meets in Salisbury on the third Tuesday of every month at the Winchester Gate. So if you want to hear a bit more of what we do, come and have a chat with one of us afterwards. And come and see. If you don't know the Winnie Gate, it's a wonderful pub just outside the city. Got some nice beers, and they do lots of live music, and of course we do poetry there. So I've got some work today for some of our poets. We've got Esther, who's a recent slam winner. We've got Cat Jones, who promises a family-friendly poem for any unedited cat. You'll have to come to one of our meetings. Destiny, if she makes it. Abby, who's come all the way from Poole. Papa Webb from Romsey. And Rhea, who's Salisbury's resident mermaid, who's going to kick us off now. Thank you. Rhea. Or not, as the case may be. Come on.
Thank you. Hello, hello. Can everyone hear me? Oh, there we go, that's better. Okay. Right, this poem is called Small. I can't afford an electric car, but an eclectic mix of minds in a carpool is a pretty cool alternative when you want to help the world change just a little bit. Maybe it seems like a compromise, but it's something. I can't always afford the organic fruit, but I can still bring my own bags and cook my vegan food from scratch. And I can dream of a future where we made a small change or a sacrifice to be part of a better world. Once upon a time I didn't drive, and the last train was the most exciting thing and part of our dream, with our bicycles and our hope and our wide-eyed mind, predicting our horoscopes for the unfurling life, driven by the spinning spokes of our clattering bikes. We weren't going to drive, we were just going to dream, spinning our yarns at our precious, peculiar, possibly haunted pig farm. But growing up isn't simple. Growing up means going places. And for that we do require cars. But it's all about changing with the times, I guess. And I must admit, I did pass my test. First time, by the way. God, I remember the night you and I bled the batteries dry and the radios dry, your Citroen Saxo, my Mini bright red, getting the words of youth and age out of our anxious heads. Jump starts taught me quickly the next day, so now I know not to waste anything, not even my time. We only have a little bit to change the world, just a little bit. We're small, our difference is small, or that's how we see it, but many things small become something big. Don't feel like what you fantasize is something you should have to hide. No one can criticize the way your individual self will compromise just to make a little bit of difference. We're small, and our footprints might feel light, and like the difference is only slight. But I wish we could all feel like our each and every choice matters. Every time we share a car, or repurpose a jar, or just are conscientious. They tell us to think big, but I'm telling you quite the opposite. Think small. Think of all you as one person can do, of those little things you choose. You can live the dream your younger self believed, when the wheels on your bike were what moved you, and making changes in your life were what proved you cared. Everything is small on this turning axis of green and blue, but it starts with you, and that is changing the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Rhea. Fantastic. Big hand for Rhea. Okay, now I'd like to welcome to the stage Estelle, who's recently won a slam competition and has been on the BBC. So she's going to do her winning poem for us right now. Estelle.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you very much. Okie dokie. Hello, everybody. My name's Estelle, and I'm a poet, performance poet. Okay, I've got a few questions for you. First question is, who knows what is the deepest trench in the oceans? Anyone? Yes, Mariana. How deep is the Mariana Trench? Yeah, how deep is the Mariana Trench? 7 miles. The Mariana Trench is 7 miles deep. Second question, who knows what the currency is of China? The people who, hey? Yes, the renminbi. Third question, anyone familiar with the term necklacing? I'm afraid to say that necklacing is the practice of putting a tyre full of petrol around someone's head and shoulders and filling it with petrol and lighting it. And that practice came from America. My poem is called The Hand of Hazard. I wrote it for Extinction Rebellion. The International Times published a longer version, and my shorter version goes like this. Hand of Hazard. The sun still shines, and the wind still blows. The moon still pulls tidal waters to and fro. But even these necessities are thwarted by the human hand. The beauty of the swollen sea hurts me in its majesty. Oceans grace humanity with a power so immense that for thousands of years we've voyaged its reach and plundered sea life from its depths. Now, even the Mariana Trench has evidence of the human hand. Plastic bags contaminate 7 miles down. The human hand steers machines which rape the earth of hedges, trees, insects and bees. The human hand poisons rivers. The world drinks in, retches and erupts with warnings. Stormier skies and rising waters drown the land of ancient tribes. And even this hazard is ignored. The human hand holds the saw with metal teeth that flash through trees. Defenders of the world's erosion are felled and split. Their trunks prostrate on drying ground and hemorrhage sap in widening cracks. Extracted roots dry and suckers shrivel. Soil is exposed, fragile and brittle against the fracking hand. The earth is being disemboweled. Meanwhile, forest clearing and dirty industry scalp our planet. Vegetation is piled high and burnt. Fires roar in the Amazon. Fires that are justified in the name of need, a currency counted in dollars sterling and renminbi. The flames leap high and pollute thickly, necklacing the world. I have an idea. The goodness boom. Every human who does a good ecological deed grows a bit. And every human that sabotages the world shrinks a bit. The good get bigger and the bad get smaller. A poacher with his loaded gun would shrink with every mean intent. Each step he took, he'd be smaller until he dropped his barreled instrument, too heavy for his puny arms. He'd shrink beneath the savannah grass, smothered in his attempt to steal the life of an elephant. And a snake would come and gobble him up, and I like to think of that. Protectors of this vulnerable planet would grow in size with each good act and hold politicians to account. The politicians would have no choice. They'd have to submit to the goodness boom and legislate for life. Thank you.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you, Estelle. Big round for Estelle. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to welcome to the stage now Mr. Papa Webb, who's come all the way from Romsey, and he's going to do something for us. Sorry? Especially. That one? Perfect. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Ian. There was a young man called Marcello, a dim but nice kind of fellow. His demise was worthy of note. He stuck a spike through his throat. He never did get the hang of the cello. I'll let you think about that. Now, I don't do social media. I'm not on Facegram, Instabrook, or any of that rubbish. But I was reading how people that are send to other people that they don't even know about what they were eating for various meals, how many times they cut their toenails, even send pictures. And I thought, well, perhaps I should join in. And I was walking in the park the other day when I saw a lady sat on a bench. So I sat down beside her and began to say about what I'd had for breakfast. But she just got up and walked away. Clearly had somewhere more important to be, so I looked around and I could see a bunch of youngsters sat on the grass. And as I walked past, I told them how many times I'd been to the loo and the colour of my poo. I even showed them a photograph, but all they did was laugh. And then one threw some grass in my face. Youth of today are just a bloody disgrace. And I saw an old lady feeding a duck. I thought, this must surely be a change of luck. And I strolled across, but I barely said a word before she began to use her umbrella just like a sword. And with one rapier-like thrust, she caught me in the area that hurts the most. And as I was bent double in pain, she beat me again and again. And through my tears, I saw the lady I first met, accompanied by an officer of the law. He just gently took me by the arm and led me to the park gate. Said it's best if I went home and not to hesitate. Undaunted, I thought about a blog where you talk to thousands at a time. So I took my loud hailer down to the town centre. And I began to regale the throng about all the things that were going wrong in my life. At first I thought they were cheering. No, they were jeering. And then I saw a man in a suit coming out, waving his arms and shouting out loud. I couldn't quite hear what he said above the noise of the crowd. He must have been important. He was dressed like a toff. Didn't quite catch what he said, but I'm sure it finished him off. And then I saw coming my way the officer of the law I'd seen earlier that day. He just took me gently by the arm and led me away. He said I'd have to accompany him to the station. I tried to explain I was in no need of a train, but the magistrate was kind. She said my sentence would be suspended, but she'd have to give me a little fine. But she was very generous, I suppose, for she also gave me a restraining order and 2 ASBOs. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Papa Webb. Okay, I'm going to read you one now. This is sort of about environmental apathy, and I had a bit of help from Will Smith on this one. Takes back to 1991, and I borrowed a little bit of the riff from Summertime. So this is called Summer Madness. Summer madness. Sit back, I couldn't care less. Summer madness. Don't read the news, I'm clueless. I'm a poet with words, my rhyme partially deformed, slight change from my chaotic form, a few lines to break the acidity, all the vitriol that's come over me, tainted my soul, it's good to rant, but I mustn't forget a vibe to ease and tease, let feelings dance, a bit of sweet and fix, dark and light, I won't resist, I won't dismiss this, reminisce about Poetika's past, toast the talent and raise a glass, give nature some time, watch the news less, kick back, nothing to lose, open my mind to summer madness. Summer madness, druid time, summer madness, beer and wine, summer madness. Well, the sun is out as I remember as a kid staying out late, parents not knowing what we did, childhood innocence has passed, get caught up in this crazy summer madness. The weather is hot, but it's not climate change, just ignore the science and the fun stays the same. Drinks start flowing as glasses get filled, temperatures rise instead of minds getting chilled. Back in Manchester, we wore baggies and sunglasses in the dark. Hacienda, the venue all the ravers used to go. Guys taking pills and girls doing likewise, staring through dry ice, tear gas in their eyes. The page malfunction. What changed from the price of an E? We still don't accept the climate change catastrophe. With a laptop and mouse, these words are mine to remind us, past, present, future, we still have a summertime. Summer, summer madness, G7 summits and Ives, summer, summer madness, paddle in the sea and save lives. Across the world seems unreal is our destiny set. Real change to save the planet or just a Hail Mary bet? Winds and waves rising, but we don't care. Not on our shore, someone else's nightmare. Heated up to 128. Jealous because UK doesn't bake. Still not realise the deathly score. Bragging about barbecue invites while others hear a hurricane roar. Let's chill, enjoy our own personal bliss. Will others be able to enjoy the first person they kiss? We all must stand and do something now. Prime Minister so static he suffers from myalgia. All politicians give us is a grunt. Just greed-ridden Etonians planning the next lunch. Whilst the unheard protests spin worthy words and tunes, 2030 rolls around. Electric cars will not cut the carbon down. Hanging with mates looking back at this, it's time to call and march to the room and shout. Challenge those who think it's not worth talking about. Fresh from a summit, not facing the truth we need to embrace. Every leader plans the jobs they'll be axing. Blinded by the profits they're sure to be maxing. Don't give up the rebellion, perhaps we'll get through. Millions strong and power might see you. An air of hope or sadness. My definition of the new summer madness. Thank you. Okay, tick me off now. Right, I think Ria's going to come back and do another little one for us.
Hey, this one is called Transition. I thought, what was Salisbury Transition? Thought we'd think about the word transition. Are we waiting for a catalyst or a shift in the octaves of our musical list of the things we ought to be changing? Are our altercations with barriers altering our position as a city, as a community, as a movement, and a transition? And are we manoeuvring our moments around these moments of metamorphosis, a state of flux, a passage of time, a steady climb? As they say, Rome wasn't built in a day, and nor are the minds we make up for ourselves as we work on our self-development and circle ourselves with counter-arguments and counterproductive statements. Because choosing your attitude is a conversation, and every choice you make is laced with complications. But pushing that wall can help with the elevation of right over wrong, and the in-between can be a good place to begin your revolution, spark the evolution that realigns our thinking. Don't be put off by a faraway goal. It's all about a whole change, and the way we move, and the way we heave our thoughts. It's about the takeoff and not the landing, and handing each other the tools to shift the gears and engage the transmission and fuel the future by our transition. Thank you.
Okay, I think probably our newest Poetika member now is going to come and do something for us. Destiny. Can I see Destiny? There she is. Here we go. Excellent.
Okay, so this is a poem called AYOY, AYOY. This is not my apocalyptic fantasy, but our collective unconscious mass reality. Oh, why can you not see? We are in disharmony, out of tune with nature's rhythm and the natural system, deafened by grinding and whirring of cogs and pistons. Oh, why won't anyone listen? Stuck in the solitary confinement of which our structural design was meant, it is now time more than ever for mass realignment. I have found my voice, and I refuse to stay silent. Oh, why are we so oblivious to the signs that heaven sent? Our judgment day is coming, but will we repent? This borrowed time was never given, merely lent. The current system is inherently hell-bent. Oh, why are we so obsessed with our bank accounts and earnings? Will there ever be a time that we stop yearning? The wheels keep turning. Why isn't anyone concerned? Our world is burning. Oh, why do we comply to these destructive ties? Led sheepishly astray by corporate lies, this is the beginning of our demise. Turn blindly away as the planet dies. Off to Mars, the rich do flee, the rest of us left struggling to breathe. There is more than enough to meet our needs. We are the ones who manifested this society. We speak our words, they have no filter. When did we become so out of kilter? The earth, we tilt her. I cannot deal with this pitter-patter. Why can't we get down to the fact of the matter? Our glass bubble is about to shatter. Running out of allotted time, can't keep on waiting. We are first in line. To who this speaks to, it will find. For the rest, it was never up to me to change their mind.
Fantastic, thank you, Destiny. Okay, now up is Kat Jones. Happy with that one, Kat? Yeah.
Shall I just move it up? Oh my gosh, it's really sunny. Right, hello there, my name's Kat Jones. I am the editor of a magazine called Pseudonym, which is for unsung heroes of the Southwest, which a lot of the Poetika people write in, and so my poem kind of relates to that. Okay. What if we see beyond those rolling hills of green, the tiny churches and the village shops? What if we open our eyes? What if we look past the past and celebrate what we have in our grasp? A city seen from a different view. It's not all about money and Waitrose and the golden plaques on theatre seats which sit neatly in rows. It's clouded smoke and paying the rent panic and corners of the street in grime. Working 9 to 5 on low rates, college coursework and midnight shifts, continuing to be creative when our bodies don't quite feel right. But we can let the minority shine. Let us see the 17-year-old filmmaker post his work online, the fresh artist who paints portraits of those who only cry, musicians who spit the beat and know how to spin a rhyme. Race up those stairs like a bullet from the gun, because the House of Creatives is a home for everyone. Any age, race, class and needs, get yourselves up to speed with the underworld of this eccentric hidden breed. Pseudonym rejoices these with words to excite, glossy mags to show the light. They pepper the pages with poems, reviews, musics and paintings, a distraction from minimum wages. Open each page with a familiar face to see, because these folk each have their own story, their own person behind their own pseudonym. Always out for the win, clean, new, black, white. See the words, read the words, feel the words, live, listen, love, and let us all ignite. Thanks.
Fantastic, thank you, Kat Jones. Okay, now I'd like to welcome all the way from Poole is Abby Poetry.
Thanks, Ian. Hey, Mr. G, it's Abby G Poetry. Yes, and I run an open mic night in Bournemouth, monthly open mic night, so it's called The Platform. If anyone's interested, look on Facebook, find the page, The Platform, and we run monthly events. I'm also very pleased to say I'm this month's guest poet for Poetika, so this group here doing the poetry tonight, this afternoon, have invited me to be their guest poet, so I'm very privileged and pleased to attend that on Tuesday this week. I've got 2 poems to read. First one was written in the last lockdown, which was all a bit grim, so I'm really happy that we're all out of lockdown and we can do events like this. This poem is called When All This Is Over. When all this is over, I'll invite you all round for cocktails and cuddles, and I'll put on some sounds. When all this is over, I'll dance in the street, shake hands with strangers, high five all I meet. When all this is over, we'll smile again. It's like war in peacetime. I get sad now and then. When all this is over, I'll lie in the sun, play frisbee and ping pong, at last have some fun. When all this is over, we'll go out for a meal. No news and no worries, we'll all start to heal. When all this is over, I'll run round the block with my t-shirt over my head in my long football socks. When all this is over, I'll fly to Peru, bring back the Nazca lines on a t-shirt for you. Hang about. When all this is over, what will there be left? Our choices eroded, it's cultural theft. When all this is over, I might shed a tear that we've come to the end of a most dreadful year. When all this is over, I'll invite you all back. I hope you all fit in my 1-bedroom flat. Thank you. Thank you, number 1. And I'm cheeky because I got another poem. I might not look like it, but I'm also actually a qualified tree surgeon. And if you want to know about any of the trees in the park, we have a tulip tree here, for instance. Copper beech, it's like a plane tree. And I had a concept a little while ago. My boyfriend, we were out for a walk in the park, and he said, "Oh, what would happen if trees were ugly?" And I was like, "Oh my God, trees are ugly! What a horrible concept!" And it created this poem. If trees were as ugly as truth. If trees were as ugly as truth, we would shield our eyes as we walked past them. We would box them up in plywood, roughly shod with nails and strewn with black graffiti. When they were young, we would kick them, scuff them, even rip them out of the ground when no one was looking, throw them in the hedge, then hurry back to wash the dirt off our hands. If trees were as ugly as truth, we would concrete our parks, pave our gardens, gravel our forests, forsake our woodlands, dark, forbidding, unwholesome places where thieves and witches and homeless hang out and children never go. If trees were as ugly as truth, they'd be farmed in rows behind barbed wire for their own protection. For their properties are still useful, their core still needed. It is only the fact that they provide the air that we breathe that we allow them to live. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Abby G. Poetry, and we're looking forward to seeing her again at Winnie Gate on Tuesday night. So, we're going to have a bonus poet for you. A friend of Abby's has come along here called Emily. I've never heard Emily read before. Emily's also from Poole. She's now going to come up and read a poem for us, and then Rhea will come and say a farewell. Thank you very much.
Hello everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful day today, because I am. I really want to talk about this poem, and obviously witnessing things that I've seen in life about people being biased to one another. I hold that thought there, right there. I'm not going to do that one right now. I'm going to just do the one about everybody's doing so far about the planet. So this is just coming off my head, and this is about the planet. We must stop and listen to our hearts. All of us inhabitants that we are here, we all need to care for the trees, the plants, the bees, the flowers, and our seas. Instead, man has created these awful machines and have invested, like causing things like TVs, fridges and cars and all those things that are so unethical. It has created poisonous gases that has turned our rain into acid. Designer plastic bags, straws, and all those things. Killing the whales, the turtles, and the fishes in our seas. I'm coming this from my head, so I'm just going to keep going. And man is burning down sacred trees that supplies us oxygen that we all need to breathe. The sun, with its high degrees, burns down everything in its wake. It doesn't care what it takes. Man needs to wake up and realize we need to respect, and we all have a part to play. We need to respect our lands and respect our earth, from where we all will be as we can get up, and we must stand. Thank you. Sorry about the poem was broken, but thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you everyone from Poetika. We're very lucky to have a load of creative people. So please come and say hello to us. We have business cards now. We have come to chat about her magazine pseudonym, and just come and say hello if you want to get involved. Thank you so much, everybody.